Silence is the first warning you miss. The coil is the movement you never see. By the time the danger registers, your luck has likely run out. Out here, death doesn't always announce itself with a roar. Sometimes it glides soundlessly over dust and shadow, carrying a chemical weapon potent enough to shut down a full-grown human in mere minutes. No myths here. No tall tales. This is the raw reality of the most lethal serpents ever caught on film. In landscapes where you fight for every second of life, these reptiles have evolved into the ultimate biological weapons. Lean bodies, surgical precision. Strikes that clock in faster than a blink. One slip-up, one step over the line, one flicker of movement. That is all it takes to seal a fate. On a lonely stretch of parched earth, a thin brown ribbon weaves through the grass, barely bending a stalk. No rattling warning, no hissing threat. It lifts its head just enough to taste the air, scanning for vibrations, shadows, rivals. It doesn't need bulk to rule. It wins with speed, pure aggression, and a venom cocktail that assaults blood and nerves simultaneously. There are no do-overs for the victims. Even after a catch and release, the threat level remains critical. Detect a movement. It snaps into action instantly. A sharp twist. Multiple strikes landing like lightning bolts. It's not aiming for food, it's gunning for the strange invader watching it. The warning is stark: keep your distance or pay the price. Hesitation is a death sentence, and we are just getting started. Because the animal kingdom hides serpents far more hostile, far more deadly, and far more nightmarish than this. We are talking about creatures that don't just defend turf, they own it. Predators so intimidating that even the top-tier hunters hesitate to step into the ring. The chapters ahead aren't just wildlife clips. They are high-stakes gambles where survival hangs by a single thread. Where instinct is king. Where a single nip rewrites the script in seconds. If you want to see how unforgiving nature gets when second chances don't exist, don't go anywhere. If your pulse is already pounding, smash that like button and subscribe right now, because the intensity only ramps up from here. Panic travels fast when the killer is faster than you. Out on the sprawling savannas and tangled scrub, there lives a serpent so swift and relentless that the fight is over before the victim knows it started. Stealth isn't its only card. It plays a game of overwhelming force, attacking in a blurred frenzy. It rears up, lifting its body high, striking not once but over and over with terrifying accuracy. Every puncture delivers a neurotoxic payload meant to paralyze nerves, steal breath, and collapse muscles. No warning, dance. No theater. Just pure speed and lethal intent. This species is legendary for its rapid-fire biting style. It doesn't test the waters, it floods them. Venom surges through the bloodstream, flipping off switches in the nervous system one by one. Without a miracle or an antidote, the countdown hits zero fast. The footage is chilling. When cornered, this snake doesn't back down. It charges. The mouth gapes open, revealing an ink-black interior, the final red flag few survive to tell about. Even the heavyweights of the bush pause, knowing one wrong move could be their last. But the wild doesn't play favorites. Sometimes nightmares clash. In one brutal showdown, a massive raptor drops from the cloud's talons, locking onto the serpent. The snake reacts on pure reflex, coiling tight muscles, snapping shut like steel traps. Two killers locked in a grapple where death is seconds away for either side. Then total chaos. Other scavengers rush the scene, drawn by the commotion. The snake becomes target number one, forced to break its hold. In that split-second, speed wins the day, and the bird barely makes it out. The takeaway: even the deadliest vipers aren't invincible. But testing them comes with a price tag most can't afford. Out here, power is measured in heartbeats, and Venom makes sure there aren't many left. If that brawl got your adrenaline going, keep your eyes on the screen. Subscribe now, because next up is a reptile with venom that redefines the word deadly. Not all hunters need rage. They don't need to scare you. They just end you, calmly. Deep in the most isolated, rugged terrain lives a snake carrying a biological masterpiece of destruction in its fangs. This predator doesn't burn calories chasing shadows. It waits. It does the math. It strikes. While others hiss and puff to warn you off, this one hits silently and repeatedly, landing surgical bites in milliseconds. The venom is a wrecking ball. It fries nerve signals, stops blood from clotting, and liquefies tissue on contact. Running is useless. Fighting is futile. Lurking underground, it navigates tight tunnels dug by rodents, tracking by scent alone. Its tongue flickers, tasting the invisible ghost trails of prey. Every inch is calculated. Every tick of the clock counts. And then Contact. A small creature steps out clueless that its timeline has just run out. No chase scene, no wrestling match. Just a blur of strikes. The prey drops almost instantly, systems failing, before the brain even registers the attack. It isn't cruel. It's just perfect engineering. The scary part, you rarely see them. Human run-ins are rare, but when they happen, it is a medical emergency of the highest order. One bite carries enough toxicity to drop multiple adults, and this snake, it rarely stops at one. Danger doesn't always advertise itself with noise. Sometimes it waits patiently in the dirt, invisible, inevitable, and absolute. But believe it or not, we haven't hit the peak yet. If the silent assassin gave you chills, make sure you are subscribed because the next segment features snakes that don't even need to touch you to ruin your life. Some killers don't need to bridge the gap. In scorching deserts and dense jungles where exits are scarce, a different rule applies. These serpents don't wait for a hug. They don't gamble on close quarters combat. They turn the air between you into a danger zone. With a sharp snap of the neck, they launch a venomous spray with sniper-like aim. The target, the eyes. The result, instant agony. Vision goes dark. Panic sets in. For any creature caught slipping, those first few seconds of blindness are usually the last few seconds of life. This isn't a glitch. It's an upgrade. Specialized fangs let them projectile vomit toxicity without making contact. It burns, it swells, and it shuts down the senses. If you don't wash it out fast, the darkness becomes permanent. In the wild, that is game over. Being far away helps, but step into their personal space, and the danger level spikes instantly. When provoked, they launch a high-velocity attack, injecting venom that liquefies flesh and shuts down organs. Usually their bad reputation is plenty to make enemies keep their distance. Now let's look at the absolute experts of the waiting game. Buried beneath a carpet of dead leaves, a heavy muscular serpent essentially dissolves into the landscape. The camouflage is absolute. Not a twitch. No red flags. Unwitting prey wanders right past without a single suspicion. Right up until the split second, their luck runs out. The assault is instantaneous. A singular burst of kinetic energy driven by pure brute strength. Hypodermic fangs plunge deep, pumping in a staggering volume of toxin. Seconds later, the prey stumbles, crashes, and goes quiet. The hunter waits. It always does. It won't dine until the final twitch ceases. Out here in the bush, the ability to wait is just as lethal as being fast. While those ambushers are nightmare fuel, our last subject is a creature so commanding, so utterly without fear that it actually feeds on its own kind. If seeing these killers in action spiked your adrenaline, smash that like button and stick around, because we are about to unveil the true monarch of the venomous world. The moment this serpent lifts its head, the entire jungle freezes in respect. Deep in the tangled undergrowth, a tall, menacing shape rises from the earth, flaring its hood in a slow, calculated show of authority. This isn't a bluff. It's a notification from a killer that acknowledges no superiors. This creature isn't looking for just any meal. It actively stalks and devours other assassins. Serpents that usually traumatize the jungle become lunch here. Even those carrying potent neurotoxins aren't safe. With superior bulk, sharp wits, and nerves of steel, this predator is virtually invincible. No rushing, no panic. It dictates the terms of the fight from moment one. If challenged, it rises like a totem, locking eyes with the intruder, every muscle primed for violence. Its hiss is a low, guttural growl, a frequency that screams to everything nearby that stepping closer ensures a swift grave. However, an empty stomach shifts the dynamic completely. Starvation turns this reptile into a machine. It pursues trails, analyzes odors, and inspects every burrow. Once it locates a victim hiding below the surface, mercy is off the table. A vicious yank, a chaotic tussle in the dirt, then absolute stillness. While others rely on potency, this king injects a massive volume of fluid in one go. The toxin assaults the nerves, swiftly paralyzing the lungs and limbs. There is no running away. Even beasts far larger than itself can't withstand the dosage. Surprisingly, for all its might, this sovereign isn't a mindless murderer. It prefers to sidestep trouble. It offers a fair warning. But if pushed into a corner, it terminates the threat with clinical efficiency. Out here, being the boss isn't just about being fast. It's about maintaining total composure. We've witnessed everything from hidden traps to airborne toxins, showcasing evolution's mastery of death. Each serpent we've met is lethal. Yet there is one that clearly wears the crown. If that finale blew your mind, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. We have plenty more raw, unfiltered nature encounters on the way, and trust me, you don't want to miss our next strike.